Hello, my lovelies. Hi, guys. I'm always not sure if I'm on or not on. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting a notice. So I presume, hang on, I'm just going to quiet that down. There you go. So it looks I'm on. Hi, guys. Welcome to Europe, welcome to Germany, welcome to Frankfurt. So my name is Angela. I'm the owner and creative energy from Elfen Helden. I'm an elite retailer for Dixibel over here, also the German distributor for Dixibel. So I'm happy when you're joining me. Just say hi to me. Hi, Vaklina. Good to see you. Hi, Isabel. Thank you for joining me. Guys, last week we started with this sideboard, glass sideboard. I'm not quite sure how you call it in English. Guys, after all, I'm German. Some of the words I'm missing, so my apologies. I'm just going to show you the state, what we've done. I've already done the second coat. This is the Terra Clay paints. We've used Galaxy, we've used, I've got to check, we've used Malachite, we've used Pistachio, Daffodil, and the Prairie Dawn, the white one, I basically left out on the second coat because I didn't like it. Or what? No, didn't like it. I thought we won't need it. So now we are at the ugly stage, guys. So don't panic. Don't panic. I'm just going to show you where we're going to go. We're going to do some raised stenciling, also with the Terra Clay paints. And this is basically where we are going. I don't know about you. I like when you look at the piece and there's like, you know, when you look closer, you can see like little details. So at the end, we're only going to see some of that pink peeking through. I may send some of it back. I will decide. But first, we're going to do the raised stenciling. Also with the Terra Clay paints. Guys, the Terra Clay paints, who's tried those? Hi, Lori. Hi to Connecticut. Is an artisan paint from Dixibel. It's brand new and it's ever so easy to use. The benefits of those paints are that you can reactivate them at any time. So basically, if you don't like something, you just take some water and you can, reactivate it and make something different. So that's pretty easy. They blend beautifully. You can create texture very easy with them. This is like basically different to the chalk mineral paints. If you want to have like a clean, elegant blend, no texture, the chalk mineral paints will be your choice. If you want to have like a grungy, textured project, then you're going to love the Terra Clay paints. I do anyway. So this is the first coat I've done. I've already done the raised stenciling here. I've also used the Bonsoir Michelle, Saba. Also, I'm out of breath, guys. I've used for the raised stenciling, I've used I'm probably spelling it wrong. It's a color from Cuckoo. It's a color from also from the Terra Clay paints is the Bougainvillea. My apologies. It's a flower now. It's that pinky color. It's that pinky color. So we're going to use that. And I've used sea spray. Sea spray. This is a texture additive by Dixibel. I absolutely love it, not only to create texture, also for doing raised stenciling. So that works really, really well. And the stencil I'm using is basically the tile stencil out of the Bells and Whistles line from Dixibel. Hi, Pia. Out of the Bells and Whistles line from Dixibel, and you can see on top here there's like a border type. That's what I've cut off, and that's what I'm using for this project. So I'm getting this out of the way before I contaminate it, as I am a messy painter. Guys, if you haven't done it yet, I would highly appreciate if you leave my page a follow to not miss any of our projects. I do lives in English. I do lives in German. So, and if you have questions, just put them in the comments in whatever language suits you. If I don't understand it now, we'll come back later to answer those for you. Okay, this is the stencil we are using. And I still have some of the, you can see here, I've done that already yesterday. This is basically the paste I created. I cut one of those things down and placed another one in there to keep it safe. So it's not very professional, but effective. Hi, Ally. Thank you for joining me. So hi to Switzerland. Switzerland is in the house. Wonderful. Let's think. Who has worked with sea spray? Do you know how it works? Shall I show you? Or shall we continue with ray stenciling? The sea spray basically comes, it's this bag. I actually opened a new one because I go through my is it open? Thought I opened it through my, no I didn't, hang on, I'm gonna get some scissors. I'm going to get some scissors. Open that. That looks better. I go through my sea spray like others through coffee. So sea spray it comes with this measuring cup, which is sucked in here. It's one of those measuring scoops. Making a mess again, sorry. It's one of those measuring scoops, and Dixie says that you use basically, I think it's one 2 quarts of Dixie paint and 1 spoon of the sea spray. I had to look because I never read instructions, and I always basically use it for the project, you know, how I just want to have it. So basically what I do, I usually pour in some paint first because I roughly know how much paint I'm going to need. I'm just going to do that quickly for you so you see how that works. I just pour a little bit of paint because I don't need that much. Now, let's see. Messy little me. Who is also a messy painter. I hope I'm not the only one. So always pour just like a little paint in, or as much paint as I think as I need for it. I'm just going to do very little. And I basically add as much of the sea spray as I think I will need, or till I have like the texture and the thickness of it like I want to have it. You know, you can have heavy texture, you can have light texture. And for ray stenciling, I found that when you let it sit for a moment and basically do the sea spray do its work, the paste gets smoother. If you apply it straight away, I'm just going to do, just pour in a little at the time. You know, it's very little at the time. Mix it. The nice thing about the sea spray is that it doesn't change the color itself. You can see when we mix it up, it keeps its color. While with the Terra Clay paints, the difference to the other paints is the chalk mineral paints, when they dry, they basically dry the same color like when they are wet. If you know the silk paints, they dry a little darker than when they are wet. And the Terra Clay paints, they dry lighter than they are wet. So every paint's got like their difference. So this would be basically the texture for me if I would like to do some texture on my project. For ray stenciling, I want to have it even thicker. I don't want to have it dripping. I would really want to have it thick, so I would add a little more of the sea spray. Again, a little at the time. if you put in too much, don't worry, just add a little more paint or even a little bit water. That's hallo nach Hamburg. Hallo Anja. So this is now about I would like to have for raised stenciling. This is now a paste. It's not dripping, and it's got like a pasty, let me see that, it's got like a pasty consistency. So now I've got it. I think. So that's basically how I would use it. So I'm just grabbing that out of here and adding it to the other already made up. As I said, I've already made that yesterday, and I kept it in the fridge overnight. Just mix it under there because I want to have a nice paste for the raised stenciling. So you can revive the colors from the Terra Clay paints when you use one of their sealers. They have the Terra Seal, which got like a flat finish. It's like similar to, or it is basically the top coat in flat, and which just enhances the colors a little, not too much. I'm just going to show you. I made a sample board of all the Terra paints, and I've used all their sealers they have, so there you can see pretty nicely. So basically over here it is unsealed. This is basically when it dries. This is with the Terra Seal. You know, it's got like a flat finish. This is with the Terra Tough. It's like a little shiny and it really revives the color. And this is with the Terra Wax. The Terra Wax is basically an oil-based wax. So you can revive the colors, whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to use the Terra, let me get out here, the Terra Tough on there. So just close that. We just don't only need to add, you can see I've added that a little later. It's still a little dark. This is completely dry, so there you can see basically the difference. So when I apply it now, you really can see what it is. So I'm going to apply it with the Singer Magic. Another tongue breaker for me. So this is from the Bells and Whistles line from Dixie Belle. And it is like a silicone rubbery tool where you can apply paste and things like that pretty easy. That's what I'm going to use. Need my tape. There it is. And on the other side, I'm going to show you what I've planned on doing with the I'm gonna go to the top. Let's see. So I've about measured my middle, which is about here. And I'm just going to tape that down a little. I don't mind if there's some of the paste squeezing underneath because it's going to be painted over anyway. I just want to have a little of the pink peek through in some areas and not too much. So this I'm happy when this is pretty textured, and that's just perfect. This will be painted over anyway. Table is too far away, so I'm just going to do that here. I'm just taping that stencil into place. You can, if you feel more comfortable, spray some. Oh, I've got to put you a little up. You can't see. You can't see. I'm going to bring you in anyway when we do that stenciling. What do you think? Guys, if you have questions, please let me know. Please let me know. So let's see if you can see. I can see a lot of people there, but nobody's talking to me. Please say hi to me, guys, when you're there. So I'm just basically getting some of that paste on my thingamajig. You can see, just like this. And on Instagram, can you see? I'm gonna put you a little up. So, and then I'm busy on my glasses. I'm just placing it on here and I'm just spreading it out to the sides. Oops. When that lifting happens, what just happened to me, mostly you get some of the paste under the stencil. So you're safer when you basically spray a little glue on the back, and you can see how nicely you can spread that with that tool when you spray some glue on the back. That's me. Already got everything all over me. Can really smooth that out, which is not that necessary, because if there's like peaks or something like that, I will basically sand them down and reveal some of that color eventually. So I just want to get some of that which is too messy off. I don't mind if there is some of that on there. So ready for the reveal. There you go. That's one part. Some basically, because that stencil was overlapping, I'm just like taking it off with my finger here. There you go. Nice and easy. And usually I would clean it before I place it on another area, because there might be, you can see this is the back, there's in some areas it's pushed under the stencil, so obviously this is going to lay on here, but I will just do that now. You can see the difference. This is already a bit dry, this is still wet. This is dry over here, so it is darker at the moment, but it'll dry pretty light. So just make my life a little easier, because I'm going to place this above here. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of that paste. I'm going to stick it down with the paste now, because that's a bit tricky. I cannot tape over here because that's you can't see, because that's still wet. Otherwise I will mess that up. So I just got some paste on here. I'm just going to tape that down with the paste now, because that's going to, I'm just going to stick that to continue basically the stencil down there. Sure, it's about roughly even. So because that paste is pretty thick, so it's sticking it down now. There you go. As I said, I already prepared, because I've done the rest of that piece yesterday already, all the way around with the raised stenciling. So I had the paste prepared and left it in the fridge. I'm probably going to, because I still have loads left. I didn't think I would need only that, not that much, what I thought. I prepared a lot more. So, and ta-da! So, sea spray. Already got the bucket here. You shouldn't drain that down the sink, because otherwise it may block your drains, as it will harden. Sea spray gets rock hard. Same thing with Dixie mud. Don't pour it down your sink, otherwise you will have a mess. Hi Sandy, thank you for joining me. So that's the tool. It works really nicely. You can also, use the tool to scrape basically the leftovers, as the stencil was overlapping there, off. Works also. And on the top, what I don't need. And that's it. If there's some areas really messy, you can go in with a little tool. But as I said, this is going to be painted over. I don't mind. I want to have texture. Hi, Manhase. That's the reason I'm going to leave it. Should put that to the side. Have to think about loads of more projects to use some raised stenciling in this color. But let's see. There's enough projects anywhere. I've just got to clean my hands a little bit also. So, but even so, I have my stencil put in a bucket of water, because I don't want the paste to dry bring it down. I don't want to have the paste dry on the stencil. The stencil is pretty thick. It is a Mylar stencil. Let's see. Perfect. Perfect lineup when closing. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to blend those in. Again, we're going to use the Terra Clay paints for that. I'm going to bring you a bit further back so you can see a little more of the project. Guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. So we're going to use the same colors basically as last week. I'm going to use a dry brush. I'm going to use the La Petite again, I've used last week. And I'm just going to go over it to basically cover most of it up. Just want to have some of it revealing. So there's some high peaks. Going to start with Facebook user. Hi to Florida. Hi to Florida. Terra Clay paints, they come in those, as you've just seen, in those plastic tins basically. You can reuse them for other things I've already done. And the nice thing is that you Galaxy, nice and dark. Then we have Malachite, which is like an evergreen basically. Hi to Florida. Which is an evergreen. So, as I said, you can blend those paints very, very nice. You can layer them, you can dry brush them, you can create texture with them. So much fun working with them. I have another project actually on at the moment, which is going to be revealed soon. Daffodil. Daffodil? Yeah, daffodil. Bright and yellow. Bright and yellow. They're water-based, low VOC. That's daffodil. Look at it. It's so bright the camera can't catch it. Ever such a pretty color. And pistachio might be one of my favorite colors from them. It is like the color name says. It is like pistachio. There you go. Such a beautiful green. Guys, if you have questions, leave them in the comments, please. So, we're going to work on this side over here, as the other one is still. Can I get you the whole? Do you, Sandy? I do. Especially now where it gets into the darker time of year. I mean, it is 7:30 p.m. over here now, so it is pitch black dark outside. Hi, Liz. Hey, girl. Thank you for joining me. So, La Petite brush, as I said, it is a natural, half natural bristles, half synthetic bristles. That's such a difficult word for a German person. Half, but it works basically like just gonna take that key up. Probably, guys, if I'm missing the key, I've laid it on the top of the sideboard. So I'm gonna come in and we're just going to paint obviously this side. The other side's gotta dry. I'm gonna go right over that gray stenciling. The sides I've already done. I don't need to cover it full, or I don't want to cover it full, but I'm just going to go right over it, also on the inside. The base coat I also made with those colors. The first coat is basically for me always to see if I like the colors, if I don't like him. If I don't like him, I come back on the second coat and just change it. As I said, on the bottom part, we use the Prairie Dawn also with it, and when that dried, that was just too dull for me. Gotta be careful I'm not going over that fresh stencil. You can see Galaxy is one of my favorite colors. I've already gone through the second jar here. 7:30. You're an hour behind. Yeah, that's right. So just going to do this side so you see basically where it goes. Just got to be careful on the top as that's fresh. I'm not going to use any water this time, as this is more like a dry brushing I'm doing now. The coverage is excellent of those paints also. And the brush strokes you apply with your brush, they will stay when it dries. So as I said, if you want to have like a finish with no brush strokes and things like that, nice and clean, then the chalk mineral paints will be your choice. Or if you're doing just like a one color finish, even the silk paints are perfect for that. So there's some of that pink showing through. That's what I want to have. Now I'm just going to come in with a bit of the malachite, which is like a pretty emerald green. Hi Jill, thank you for joining. So, no water this time. Just blending that in random areas, just enhancing some of the, getting it into the galaxy. And you can do that as many times as you want to. You know, I mean, if you don't like it, you just go back and forth and until you get like the look where you want to go. But you can see, like, you know, the way it blended into each other, it just gives it like a lighter area. I'm going to use now the pistachio. I'm using one brush. I'm not changing my brushes. I'm going to decide where I want to have some of that. Can be stronger in some areas and not as strong in other areas. Usually with a clean blend, you use like different brushes or one brush for each color, which I'm not doing here. I'm just basically blending it in some areas just to basically highlight the whole thing. This is the reason I'm working from dark to black. Yeah, that's good. From dark to black, from dark to the lighter colors. I just want to have like all those different greens applying on there. And teeny weeny bit of daffodil. Do you, Jill? That's good. You do. You see, that's very bright, but just offloading it a bit. Just move your brush back and forth and it basically blends in beautiful, just leaving like a highlight. In some areas there's like this pink coming through. If I want to, I'm going to decide later, I can even, you know, use a sander and sand some of it back, but I haven't decided on that yet. A little bit more of the malachite down there. And it just blends in like magic. Just blends in like magic. Want to have a little more touch of malachite up there because I think that gives it like ever such a pretty glow. I'm just moving my brush back and forth, so that's all, just to brighten it a little up. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave it like that. The other door I'm going to do when everything is dry. You can see I already messed it up with my brush there, but that's no problem. Guys, I hope I'm not missing any questions. I can't see any questions, but I thought Dixie Belle would be here, but apparently they're not. Okay, so my key. That's basically where it goes. And there we go. On the inside, I will do some decoupage. But before the decoupage, I want to have some crackling. I want to have basically the decoupage over the crackle. So I've tried that today because obviously I'm just going to close the lids a little from now. Obviously I'm going to clean the lids nicely off before I close them fully, because otherwise, as with the chocolate paints, they won't close properly and they will stick to the top, which we don't want to have, obviously. So I've done some tests with the crackle, because obviously, let's see, there you go, now you can see, because I thought it would work, but I wasn't sure, so I've tried it out before. The base is elderberry, and then I put crackle on there, and the top is blue agave. Blue agave. Apologies, my pronouncing. So I don't know if you can see that there's like I've applied the crackle in different ways, because especially when you add it on a vertical surface, you sometimes get like running noses. So on the top here, I've applied it with a chip brush. This is basically where how the crackle turns out there. In the middle, I've applied it with a spatula. Crackles are a little rougher. Up here, it is very organic and it is unorganized, I would say. That's how I love it, unorganized. I like organic looks with the crackle. And on the bottom one, I've basically dabbed it on with a French tip brush to avoid the running noses. So when you apply the crackle, you don't need to panic. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you got to be careful with the crackle, otherwise it doesn't crackle. It doesn't matter. When you apply the crackle, you can apply it anyway. You can brush over it. You can push it down. It's going to do its job. The only thing is, the thinner it is, the finer the crackles get, as you can see down here. The thicker it is, like in the middle, the bigger the cracks will get. Yeah. You've got to be a bit careful when you put the second coat of paint then over it, you know, to not brush the paint back into the crackles. But applying the crackle is ever so easy. So, as I said, I want to do some decoupage, and I want to have crackle under the decoupage. I'm going to use some rice paper. I actually have the decoupage here, but I just wanted to show you. I want to have, when I apply decoupage, I always like to have a light background. So this is pretty dark, but this is going to show through the cracks, you know, which is going to show through the paper later. Thank you, Liz. So, but this is similar. This is a rice paper. This is a rice paper. Actually, I can show you on that board. You can see that pretty nicely there. You can see the difference. Can you see the difference in color? Let's do it that way. You can see the difference in color from the darker side with the darker color underneath and the lighter side with the lighter color underneath. If you want to have the colors, if you don't mind, if they get a little darker, you may put it just over a dark color. But I usually like to have my colors pop. So that's the reason I'm going to have like a light background. But this is going to go for the cracks. So I'm just going to apply my crackle now. Crackle is, well, it's a crackle medium, as I just showed you. Hi, Nina. There you are, girl. It's got like jelly consistency. It's a bit jelly. And it is milky. And as I said, on the vertical surface, it tends to drip. You can apply it with a brush. You can apply it with a spatula. And I'm just going to apply that randomly. As I said, you can I like to apply that randomly anyway, you know, because I don't want to have like what do you say, regular cracks. I like my cracks being basically irregular, and I don't need them in all areas. You can see the color is darkening down because it is wetting the Terra paint. This is the Terra Galaxy I painted it in the back, and I want that basically to show through the peaks. And I'm going to have it in some areas thicker, in some areas thinner, in some areas not at all, because that's basically natural. And as I said, you can apply it with a brush. You can use a spatula before or after, apply it with a spatula, whatever you want to do. It's just when you have it thick and it might drip. So I would recommend until it's dry, either you have the chance to lay that down, lay it flat, so that doesn't happen, or you basically come in and watch it, and if there are runny noses or something like that, you just dab them down or brush them down. As I said, when you apply the crackle, you don't need to worry. Nothing is going to happen to you, to your cracks. Yeah, Nina, on Wednesdays, I'm on the Chalk Paint 101 page again for Dixieville. So stay open, stay open. Bring up a little more light so you can see a little better. So that's basically the way it goes. And as I said, you can use, this is the mud spatula, for example, from Dixieville. You can use a spatula to spread it out. However, it doesn't make a difference. You know, if you want to have it irregular, that's basically the way to go for it. This is also good if you want to brush down the strokes, or as I said, I've used the a French tip brush for it. Why does that door open? Gotta be careful that it doesn't tilt over. So that's basically. And I'm always using a good amount of that stuff on my brush. Also, you can dab it down like this. As I said, there's nothing you can do wrong with that, as long as you apply the crackle. When you come over it with the second coat of paint, then you've got to be a little more wary. So tomorrow on my page, I'm going to put on basically the decoupage, and we are also going, I have that here. There will be some decoupage on top, and on the bottom we're going to use one of the new transfers, the balance transfer. This is going to go on there also. So it's going to be a water scene on the bottom with those kois, which I think they're very pretty, and an overwater scene with a decoupage on top. That's what we're going for. And because I'm gonna do some decoupage, I'm not going to use the Terra to go over the crackle, because when I do decoupage, I'm going to use the top coat satin to get the decoupage on there. And as the Terra Clay paints, they reactivate really, really easy. And I don't want to, reactivate that white. So I'm going to use the fluff from Dixieville, from the Chalk Mineral Paint line to do basically the base for my decoupage. So, almost finished. As you can see, I'm not applying it regular on here because I don't want to have regular cracks. I like it that it looks natural. And some people don't like the consistency as it is jelly, and it gets like this puddles and things like that. It moves into, but I think that's absolutely perfect. That's basically like it was naturally aging. It's like with other crackle mediums, you have like one crack like the other, and that's for me just not natural. I don't know what you think. How do you like your crackle? Oh, it looks a right mess. Messy part, guys. I always have my messy parts before it gets nice. You know that. Or people who know me know that anyway. How's the weather actually where you are? So I'm going to do that on the whole back because I want to have basically crackles all over the place. You can only, if you want to, just do it like an area of the edges or something like that. However you fancy doing it. So you're already on there 50 minutes. I may, oops, I'm not making a mess. I'm going to switch to my right hand now. Always paint like right-handed. I may just show you quickly how we do apply on that board. So that's it. As I said, I'll put that into the water. Close my jar. I'm gonna need that. Wait here for a second. I have no baby wipes. Do we still have some time? I'm just going to show you quickly on that board. I'm going to do on the other side because I want to see for myself if the chalk mineral paint crackles different than the Terra Clay paints. We're just going to do that quickly. Are you still with me? I'm just going to grab another brush. French tip. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to bring you a little more in. There's like in areas like here, there's like this dripping coming down. So I'm just going to use my French tip. This is those areas where the crackle is a little heavier. And I'm just pushing those down because I don't want to have drips. And as I said, it is not disturbing the crackle. Don't worry, don't panic. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. As I said, the easiest part would be to lay that down if you haven't got the chance. But I love this puddling in here and there. This is, this is just natural. This is like then really put it in some areas. It is not much. Put that here for now. So I'm going to use vintage duck egg I'm going to put it down so you can see. I'm sorry for being long, but I want to see if the chalk mineral paint crackles different to the Terra Clay paint. This is vintage duck egg chalk mineral paints. I'm just going to do that very quickly. On the other side, basically, this is done all the same way. And with the crackle, I like to use a little more paint to make sure I cover most of the surface. When you add it, now you got to make sure that you're not going back and forth, because the crackle starts pretty much straight away. And you can go in a crosshatch. You may do that unless it hasn't started crackling. You may do that. Grab a little more paint. And also here, the thicker the paint is, the thicker the crackles are going to be. And the thing, you shouldn't go back and forth, as I said, along the cracks haven't started. You may go over it. If they have started, you may, with brushing over it, cover your cracks again. As I said, it starts pretty much straight away, that you can see what happens. Go in some areas where you haven't hit. So let's see, I'm just going to grab my heat gun to force it. Then I'm going to let you go, just very quick. Oh, putting up a greenhouse, Nina. Wow. Well, we had sunshine here today, but it's getting colder now. So you can see in some areas down here, there's like the cracks already going. And it starts basically pretty much straight away. Can you see that? On this edge here, obviously where I've applied it thinner, the paint starts to dry quicker, so the cracks come quicker. So sorry for the noise, I'm just going to enhance that. There you go. That's fine for now. Just wanted to show. Oh, no. Not a good idea. Because it gets hot. You see this? That's basically, I would say the chalk mineral paints, they crack a little more than the Terra Clay paints. What do you think? I think they do. That's basically what I wanted to try. That's basically why I've done that. Now you can see this is where I had it very thin, where I stepped it on with the French tip brush. So that's basically it, guys. So thank you for being with me. My apologies, I've taken up so much of your time, but I'm very grateful you've been with me today. Can see the running back there. I'm going to watch that a little longer. I don't want to have the drips. I like this puddling here. This is like, see that? This is basically giving it a very natural look at the end. So that's basically what I've done on that board also. And the cracking, you know, is just happening anyway. So whatever you do to the crackle, it doesn't matter. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me tonight, guys. Instagram, there you are. My name is Angela from Elfen Helden in Frankfurt in Germany. So thank you so much for being with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please leave me a like and a follow on my page. I do lives in German and in English. And yeah, I'll be happy to catch you again next week. Until then, I'm saying bye-bye, ta-da, take care. Thank you for being with me. Yes, Nina, I will be on tomorrow night. 6 p.m. German time in German and 7 p.m. in English. Take care. Ta-da.